right, you guys, when you hear that music, you know what time it is. It's another banger for you guys. It is Thursday. You see the man already hitting his clock. So you know what time it is. This is the Locker Room Show. And if you're joining us for the very first time, I'm your host, Coach Terrence Wood. Welcome. We've got Q the Guru on the far right, the one that holds me down every single Thursday. And then, you guys, we bring in a guest that knows football, not somebody that's just thinking they know football. This is somebody that's played it, somebody that's lived it, somebody that's been through training camp, somebody that's hit other people, and he's coming to share his journey with you tonight. And that's none other than the great Andy Peeke. What's going on, Peeke?
Boom, boom. Good to be here. Good to see you guys. Got some big
Definitely,
$12 in the house.
Hey, I'm telling you, man. Pure old school, real Big 12.
Q, those glasses looking stylish, man.
Hey, man, yeah, I stole them out the Run DMC archive, and I ain't giving them back neither.
So there you guys have it. You already know we got some characters in the locker room tonight, and we're going to get into it. But like I said, you guys, this isn't somebody that just looks handsome and does big things. This is somebody that has laced it up. He was a phenomenal player, you guys, coming out of California in high school. He's been fortunate enough to parlay that into an entertainment career. He's done modeling, he's done acting, he's been a TV show host. There's a million things that Andy is into, and we definitely want to make sure that we share that with you tonight, because sometimes as football players, we forget all the leverage we have. And Andy's going to talk about that tonight. So before I get started, just to show you that he was one hell of a player, and a lot of people don't know this, Andy played offense and defense, little Travis Hunter action when he was at CU, linebacker and fullback. And here's just a little snippet.
Colorado's already having to blitz to try to get the ball out of Tuiasa Soko's hands. It's
still only 4 down linemen here against Tui. Handoff slipping, and as a result, Clement probably didn't get it cleanly. Peeke and Sykes. He drops off at this time. Hit, hangs on to the football, and he is sacked. Great play by Andy Peeke.
There you go, you guys. Somebody who could definitely play some big-time ball, and we're excited to get into tonight's show. Definitely. And I see some people already coming into the comments. We've got the great Coach Eric Foss saying Northeast Alabama. Let's get that edutainment going. I love it right there. We got the Munoz family, fan favorite, locker room show favorite, greeting from the Lone Star State. They got a baller in their house too, young Marco. And then, of course, the mother-in-law always holding me down, saying looking forward to another show. Great show out of Denver. So you guys, thank you for joining us as usual. But let's get into it. If you guys are joining us for the first time, we've got all the topics right there on the bottom ticker. We cover the journey of our guests, but also, you guys, some of the key stuff going on, the real-time stuff in the football entertainment industry. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, Andy. Commitment. Commitment, man. You came all the way from California and decided to go with Rick Neuheisel at the time to University of Colorado, had a great career. But some of these kids, Andy, are right in the thick of it right now. You know, signing day's coming up pretty soon. There may be some indecision. Dad wants me to go here. Mom wants me to go here, but I don't know where to go. So when you really think back about your decision, what were some of those key final factors that made you sign with the Buffalo?
Man, this takes me back, man. First of all, if you got a dad wants me to go here, mom wants me to go here, girlfriend wants me to go here, I want to go here, that's a good problem to have. Okay. I did not have a whole lot of options. Okay. I mean, I was, and T Wood and, you know, the rest of our team, they saw me show up and they're like, who's Olive Oil here? And why do we offer like male Olive Oil a scholarship? Because I was the shortest, skinniest linebacker on that team. But I also had something that not everyone else had. So if you're that player that's in that spot, that's like, what's going to work? Listen, at the end of the day, you are now on the verge of becoming a grown man. Okay. You're leaving high school. You're leaving the house. You're leaving the family. You are taking both hands of your life and putting it on the steering wheel. So this ultimately, I believe, is your decision. And, you got to let your mom and your dad and your girlfriend, whoever know, I want to hear your input. I want to hear your input. I want to hear your input. At the end of the day, I got to make this decision for me because this is my life. My decision to go to Colorado led me to be here right now with both of you, T Wood and Q. If I wasn't there, we wouldn't be here right now. And I am so glad and so grateful that I made that decision. My other options are Oregon was recruiting me, and New Mexico, Utah State, San Diego State, Boise State. I was getting some attention around the West. I also got some letters from Cal and a couple other places up and down the West Coast. Ultimately, and I'm getting real personal and honest here. My dream was to go to UCLA. My dad played at UCLA. I used to grow up in LA going to UCLA games with my dad. Yeah. He'd introduce me to some of the guys that he played college ball with and still has that relationship with. And I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. Yeah. UCLA pulled in the #1 recruiting class the year that I graduated high school. And a guy that was helping me, just like you help people, T Wood, he said, you could play at UCLA, but UCLA is not going to recruit you because you're not that big of a recruit. And he told me some cold, hard facts. And I said, okay, thank you for letting me know. But then Colorado came knocking, took a trip, loved it, and said, this is the place for me. And
so was it more of an intuition type thing, just a feeling, or was it a hard, hey, they've got this and this school doesn't type of thing?
Yeah. They've got the, big time football. They've got the facilities. Knowing that I was going to be playing linebacker for Coach Cabral starting out, even though I ended up moving to fullback and playing my true freshman year, knowing I was going to be playing for Coach Cabral linebacker and some of the other linebackers and the teammates I met on my recruiting visit. It's so funny. I still talk to some of those guys I met on my recruiting visit, and we just have
nice.
We tell stories about the day we met, and they're like, Peeke, I thought you were so shy and quiet, and I don't know what to think about you, and now you're just out there all over the place. So it's great to have those stories, and it's just to be really honest, I don't know if I had a great formulation of everything I was looking for. I went to Colorado. I saw it. I liked it. I said, this is the place for me. And this is good.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm so grateful I made that decision.
So for some of you young athletes out there, it may not be just, hey, it's the X's and O's or it's the coach. It just may be a feeling that makes you pull the trigger on a school. So thank you for sharing that, Pete.
Yeah. Something I want to add on that is, you don't always know, was Colorado the right place for me? I look back and I say, absolutely. Yeah. But I could have gone somewhere else and that could have been the right place. Wherever you end up going, you got to make the best of it because there's going to be hardship. Okay. There's going to be times where you think I should jump in the transfer portal. My coach doesn't like me. I'm not going to get an opportunity. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Get out there, get on the field, knock some heads, kick some ass, and you know what? You're going to find your place.
Yeah. I love it right there. Yeah, you'll find your place. We're on to our next topic, you guys, and this one is a big one because some of you young athletes may be going through this or you may face this in the future, and everybody on this podcast tonight has been through this. So this is something that is very realistic for some of you guys that want to go play some college football, and the topic is when the coach leaves. Now, we talked about this a little bit last week, but I wanted to bring it up, fellas, and we'll start with you, Q, from the kid's perspective who's already at the school. So I'm already at the school. I'm at Oregon State. I'm at Duke. Now, all of a sudden, my coach leaves. What's your advice for that kid, man? Is it just an automatic reflex? I need to jump in the portal? or do they need to be a little bit more patient and think about some things?
I think it's a couple of factors you got to look at, Coach. One is, are you a junior? How many years do I have left? That's the first and foremost thing I'm thinking you got to look at. The other thing is, are you starting? Are you a solidified, bona fide starter where you're at right now in regards to whatever the coach has going on, coming or going? I'm with the ones, and I'm concrete right here. If you're in a situation maybe where it could be a coaching change and you're climbing that ladder and you have a coach coming in that didn't recruit you, that would be a situation where I'd be like, okay, if I'm a freshman, okay, I got time to let's try to duke it out and see if I can climb the ladder and fight through. But if I'm junior, sophomore maybe, but a junior for sure, depending, I might have to take my chances with the portal and moving around, depending, it's a lot of factors, man. But that's what I would primarily look at. I totally agree with Andy. I think sometimes with the situation where we're at now, a lot of these kids they're running away from true competition, and that's the focus of this game. That's what makes this game what it is that competition. But you still want to play. Like you went to school to get some tick, right? So you have to put yourself in the best possible position. But I always say, depending on how much time you got, other factors, man. If my coach leaves that recruited me, I might end up going where he's going. He knows me.
Good point.
It's
right
something
there.
about me. It's something about me that brought him into his program. So, because like for you guys, it's like, well, how would you have been if you would have went to Washington? You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Talk to me, Andy. Obviously, we went through the Neuheisel-Barnett recruiting change. Neuheisel recruited both of us. We didn't end up playing most of our career under him. Now, let's say you're going through this and you have your son, and let's say he ends up somewhere playing football, and you see that he's going through a coaching change. What's dad say to son?
First question, what do you think's the best option for you? All right, because whatever problems you're having, you might have those same problems anywhere you go. Mm-hmm. So you got to look at Q. You brought up great points. How much eligibility do I have left? Where am I on the depth chart? And which goes again into what's the best place for me to be. Mm-hmm. At the same time, T. Wood, honest question, honest answer. Did you think about transferring when Neuheisel left?
Yes.
I did too. I think every player does. I like maybe I should, because it makes you question if you made the right decision.
Right.
And I was a redshirt freshman. You were a true freshman.
Yeah. Yeah. So eligibility wise, we were in the same spot.
You had a ton of time. Yeah.
Yeah. But so
why didn't you leave?
What was I going to get out there? What was I going to get that I couldn't still have at Colorado?
Okay.
That's a good question.
And I think every player needs to ask themselves that, because sometimes I see these guys transferring 2-3 times and I'm like, what are you chasing after that you can't get in the destination where you already are? So sometimes you got to say, is what I want right here in front of me. And I'm just, like you said, Q, you got to buck up. You got to bow up, get on the field and show up and show up. Some of these guys, they just want to be given a starting spot. You got to earn it.
That is facts. But the only thing I will say too, along with that, Andy, which is 100% right, you are right. But when you're that young, you don't understand the politics. Because both of you guys were killers and maybe should have been out there, got a lot more playing time and been out there a lot more than what you were. But the politics, because I'm playing for a coach that doesn't know me, versus Coach Neuheisel, he loved y'all. He knew y'all. He knew exactly what he was getting into y'all. So, yeah, you had to prove yourself, but it was not to the extent that you do for another coach, because they know nothing about you. It's promises that they may have given the next kid, even though you're better. So it's like, it's a double-edged sword. It's like, yes, that's the case, but you don't, at 18, you don't understand the politics of it.
I'll say this.
Great point.
Every coach wants T. Wood. Coach Barnett wanted you to be a solution. Q, whoever you play with at Kansas wanted you to be a solution. I need this guy at corner. I need this guy at linebacker. I need this guy at D end. You solve all my problems, and you're playing.
I can agree with that.
So you gotta find out. Yeah. You gotta find out what makes the coach tick. The new
every
coach.
player be that solution for your coach.
That's a good point.
All right,
that's one to write down, Andy. That's good.
And there's some dynamics for you young players to think about. Whether you're going to go through this in the future or maybe checking this out, you're going through it now. It's not always the right decision to jump right in the portal. And you're getting it from 3 people who have lived college coaching changes at the Division I level. So it was real for us. It really affected our situation. We're on to the next topic, you guys, and talking about affecting situations. Man, I mean, people dream of going 10-0, and we've got the 13-0 Florida State Seminoles out of the ACC, you guys, that are going to not be able to compete for a national championship. There's no possible way that they can win a national championship, even though they are coming out of a Power 5 conference and undefeated. And Governor Santos is saying, I don't know, is he mayor? Mayor is saying that $1 million is being set aside for governor, sorry about that, to basically have a little lawsuit, you guys, against the NCAA and the College Football Playoff Committee. So we'll start with you, Q. Talk to me a little bit. I mean, do you think the Seminoles really have a lawsuit, or do you think that this is going to get burnt out and hashed out?
Yeah, hey, we were talking about this earlier today, man. I don't even know where to start. 13-0 ACC champs, and you don't get a shot to the dance. Man, Coach Bowden is turning over in his grave.
And not that the people that they chose over you were 13-0. These people had losses.
Oh, absolutely. But again, were we not just talking about that? It's that SEC factor. I just said that last week. It's something about the SEC. What people don't understand is it's great football from coast to coast in this country, but it's something about the SEC. The SEC is directly tied to politics. I'm talking like that's what it seems like. It's like they're directly tied to U.S. politics in some kind of way. It's that kind of power that you see when it comes to these teams going. How many times have we seen Alabama get in with 2 losses, or some other SEC team get in the playoffs with 2 losses versus an undefeated or a 1-loss team? So this isn't the first time we've seen this. I feel like that maybe if it was a team that wasn't as prominent as a Florida State that was undefeated, maybe like a Boise State, something like that was a great team, but it doesn't have the history and ancestry as a Florida State. But for Florida State to not get in undefeated, that's tragedy, man. Like I said, Coach Bowden is turning over in his grave, man. I don't know what to say.
Talk to me, Andy. I mean, do you think that they should have some legal action taking place here, or do you think they should just go in the background and watch it take place?
Legal action, I disagree with. I think it's petty, and it's not going to solve their problem. Because what are you going to do? You're going to spend $1 million of state funds to do what? And what are you going to get at the end? At the end, Florida State's not going to get what they want, which is a shot at the national title. I think that money could be spent on Florida State high school football throughout the state, improving programs and helping build that next team. So from a legal standpoint, I think it's petty, and I don't think it's going to accomplish anything.
Yeah.
Are we talking about the college football playoff yet? Are we getting into that one yet?
Yes, indeed. Yes, I think the whole country. It's very interesting though, because how do you twist the politics? Is the politics coming, or the potential lawsuit, from the fact that I'm a head coach that maybe gets $1 million bonus if we're in the college football playoffs, or that the school gets extra funding? So very, very interesting how that's all going to unfold, and unfortunate for those boys, especially those seniors I see the great David Walker checking in. That's one of our superstars. We're talking code changes, Davis. You guys may have to deal with that. We've got Ramel saying, "What's up, coach?" And then, of course, the great Jimmy Rucker saying, "Great point." And we see you sit tight too. So some of our superstars coming in. A lot of this stuff may pertain to you guys. So keep an eye on it. Now we're going to get into the perfect topic, especially for our guest tonight. Lights, camera, action, you guys. Lights, camera, action. The gentleman that we have tonight, pretty much to my awareness, as soon as we got out of football, started headed towards Hollywood and New York and doing things, TV show host, as you guys see here on the cover of magazines and just heartthrob for some people. So I want to talk to you about this, man, because so many people, Andy, have a hard time transitioning. Was the transition out of football hard for you? And what made you fall into getting into the entertainment world?
So the transition out of football, I wanted to hold on to the game for so long, and I was fortunate enough to go into Europe and coach and play for a season out there, and had a blast.
Nice.
While I was out there, though, man, we had practice twice a week and games on weekends, and I lived 50 yards from the beach. So, I mean,
wow.
this blonde flowing hair I had, I was like eating way too much pasta. I looked in the mirror one day. I said, oh, no way. I started working out every day. I came back to the US. I was ripped, man. I was ripped, tan with blonde hair. And so that's when I got picked up by a modeling agency, Ford Models, in New York City. And then from there, things just kind of blew up, man. I did an Abercrombie campaign, Ralph Lauren campaign, Brooks Brothers, Hugo Boss. I started booking a lot of work, and I was traveling and doing a lot of modeling work. At the same time, I enjoyed it. But then I found something kind of like just flat about it. In case you haven't noticed, I enjoy interacting with people and being a little bit more of a personality than just a pretty face. I know, Q, you keep staring at my face. I'm noticing that. So I started doing stand-up comedy, and then I started getting into more hosting and commercials, and now I do a lot of regular spokesman work. I do a lot of corporate events. And that's a commercial I shot at ESPN headquarters right there, that previous photo.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that one right there. I shot that with Mike Golick Jr. for Century 21 Real Estate. So I do a lot of live events. I do a lot of MC auctioneer events for fundraising companies, nonprofit companies. So I've leaned into more of that on camera speaking, using my personality, my voice, and just interacting and having fun with people. And it's a ride. It's a roller coaster, man. It's a roller coaster.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to a young football player that maybe has his eye on it as well? Because a lot of football players have parlayed into entertainment careers that have been great.
Yeah. Jim Brown, Dick Butkus. I don't know. Do you guys remember a guy named Dhani Jones?
Of course. New York Giants, Michigan.
Yeah.
Bro, I was at the airport 2 weeks ago. I turned around. I said, you Dhani? He goes, yeah. I was like, oh, nice, man. I used to watch your TV show. And then he saw me with my pickleball bag going through security. He goes, what does that say on your bag? I was like, we ended up talking for like 10 minutes there at the airport.
Nice.
Wow.
That's one thing that, like, sports and also just like being in entertainment, a guy like Dhani Jones, like recognizing him, and you have this instant connection.
If I'm a player, how can I leverage any way to help out, maybe get into the entertainment industry?
One great thing is, I know I'm not answering your question directly quite yet, but being on a football team, you are around a lot of personalities. So, I got a sense of Strahan, great example. I got a sense of, like, how to interact with a variety of different people, different age groups, different backgrounds, and just developing an overall personality and maturity. I would say this. Once I started going into entertainment, a lot of people in entertainment wait tables, bartend, do a lot of side jobs so they can pursue what they want to pursue.
All right.
For me, I really, really worked hard to stay away from all of that and focus on doing things that I really wanted to do, even if I wasn't going to make money. Even if I was going to make less money, I'm okay with that as long as I'm doing the things that I really want to do. Because the universe, I'm going to attract that from the universe. Yo, that photo right there, healthy man, I will admit they did airbrush a little bit of my abs there. Had a hair and makeup lady come and brush some like dark lines on my abs there. That was pretty fun.
There you go. It worked, baby. It worked.
Yeah.
So
Q, I'll
there,
meet you after the show. I'll do that for you later tonight, Q.
my wife will appreciate that because I've been slacking on the center.
Wow.
I'll say this, just like I knew for those football players, those young athletes listening right here, like one of the most poignant stories that I can tell you that relates to me is I was a sophomore in high school. All the best sophomores play on the varsity, right? I wasn't playing on the varsity. I was playing on the sophomore team, and we had a legit sophomore team. We played JV teams and beat them all. I remember in my geometry class, I told one of my classmates I was going to get a football scholarship. And one of the guys on the varsity team turned around and he said, "No, you're not." And that hit me. That hit me. And I don't know if it's him saying that or if it was just in me already, but I was like, oh, you're going to find out.
Yeah.
And the next year I was a junior and he was a senior. And whenever I saw him on the practice field, he knew it.
Yeah.
He knew he was wrong, huh?
Yes.
So as it goes into like showbiz, okay, like when I get that gig, that one I'm really, really wanting, that one where I'm asking somebody to hey, you know what? Most of these gigs, no, but this one, hey, can you do me a favor and get me at the top of the list for that one? Believe me, I'm going to show up. I'm going to show up big time. I might fail, but I'm going to fail big.
Big. Yeah.
You know? So what? You live once.
I love it.
It's,
I love it.
See, when I hear stuff like that, Coach, it's something about you just gotta be different, man, to play this game, man. But it's like it's what it instills in you that you carry on to everything else that you do. That's why, like, everybody, like, no offense to the hoopers out there, but it's something about football. This game, it just, man, it's what it when they say it makes a man out of you, like, promise of God, it does. It really does, man.
I love it. I love it. And I have the great Coach Hughes jumping in. He says Fred Williamson, a.k.a. the Hammer. Yeah, and another football player, little older school, but definitely went into acting, and so many have, or into commentating. So there you guys have it right here from somebody that's done it. You may not be the best, but you better go big. Go big. You know, if you don't get the job, make sure they remember you guys. So hopefully you guys take that to heart. We're on to our next topic. And obviously you guys, for one, thank you for joining us in the locker room every single Thursday. Make sure you like, subscribe, and tell your friends. And then you guys, we've got the great Andy Peeke with us. So this is that time of year where it's Heisman time, you guys. It's Heisman time. The one trophy that every single college football player wishes they could eventually win, and we've got an amazing class, it looks like. Obviously, it's heavy quarterback class, but let's do our own little nomination and determine who's going to get the trophy. As far as your pick, Andy, we'll start with you. Who deserves the Heisman Trophy,
That's
sir?
tough.
So you shot me an email earlier today. You're like, we're going to talk Heisman. Right top of my head, I said Penix. Now, before coming on, I said, all right, I gotta do a little research on this. And you know, Penix, great stats. He's done some big time things when his team needed him. Jaden Daniels' statistics are
It's
phenomenal.
Insane.
His yards per completion is 2 yards higher. His QB rating is higher. His interceptions are much lower.
Yeah.
His completion percentage is higher. I mean, him and Nick's completion percentage are just ridiculous. Nick's is 77%. Holy smokes.
With only 3 picks, yeah.
Yeah. With all that said, okay, so my 1-2 in no order right there are Jaden Daniels, Michael Penix.
Okay.
My pick to win the Heisman, if I'm casting a vote,
who's your guy?
Michael Penix.
Michael Penix.
I will say this, because he pulled his teams through in victory, where Daniels did.
Okay. So there you go. If Mr. Andy Peeke was the one handing over the trophy this upcoming weekend, it'd be going to Mr. Penix. So, Q, talk to me. I know you got some feelings on this, man. If you got to give it to one of these 4 deserving young men, who would be getting the award from the guru?
I mean, man, this is tough. I like Penix a lot. LSU. Oh man, that was a tough game. I mean, they lost to Bama, even though that QB had a great game. Bo Nix, obviously been watching him since he's been at Auburn, even though he is 37 years old.
38.
Right. But you know what? I like Marv. I'm going with Marv.
Wow.
Yeah. And wait,
wow.
Right. Here's the thing, though. Because
what's in your water bottle, Q?
No, listen. Because listen, guys, when I guarantee he will be not only the first receiver off the board, he will go top 3. Because he's been doing it for damn near 4 years straight. He's got me 1,000 yards. So you're talking about the best out of those, not just the best receiver, but he's going to be the best pro out of the bunch. He's like ready right now. You cannot cover the guy. I know that Ohio State, obviously, didn't have the season that they were looking to have, but Marvin Harrison Jr., man, he's been a stud for since he touched down. So I'm going with Marv, man. That's my pick.
Okay. All
Dude,
right.
You know the standards for the Heisman? It's not a career achievement award. It's not based on being an NFL prospect. It's outstanding player this year.
True. Okay. I'm going with Marv.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see who wins, because I would go Penix. I would go with you, Andy, just because the perseverance, and I think that Washington is hitting new heights that they really haven't hit before he was there, maybe since Brunel. But with that being said, it's going to be interesting, you guys, because you do have the stats, the SEC stats, versus a team that's undefeated and winning with Penix. So it's going to be interesting to see where the voters go. I think Marvin Harrison is the best player as far as this is easy to me, but he didn't have a great quarterback, and they hate to give it to any other position but quarterback.
That's true.
I don't think he'll win. I think it is Penix or Daniel.
Yeah, I think I'm picking Marv, but if he doesn't win, I think Penix will win it for sure.
It'll be interesting. But it'll be interesting because you said SEC has a lot of politics.
Man, they do. I promise they do.
And they don't like to give too many West Coast Heismans.
They don't.
Your name is Reggie Bush. That was more in the back in the day thing than lately. So that will be interesting to see who goes. I was surprised, if Milgro from Alabama would add a couple more weeks, he might have been in the mix too. The great Jimmy Rucker says there's talk of Harrison coming back to play with Ward. So I guess maybe the quarterback who's transferring to Washington State. So that will be interesting. Yeah. Obviously, these boys
Ohio
don't need
State
money.
Never has a quarterback. That's the thing about it. They've never had. It's real like a prolific. I mean, they have good quarterbacks, but they always have like these unbelievable receivers and running backs, and their quarterbacks are like middle of the road.
Did you say Ohio State does not have a quarterback? You heard of Cardinal Jones, CJ Stroud?
So with CJ, with the exception of CJ, he actually panned out. Like
Terrell Pryor. I mean, he couldn't run, but I mean, he had some
It was
talent.
a good, yeah, but not.
You're
Gris-
talking very Peyton Manning type guy.
Exactly. They
So
always have
pocket,
great,
a legit
yeah,
pocket.
because it's part at will. Like they never have
Stroud.
that guy.
Stroud was probably the best one. I mean,
Yeah.
they've had
We've
Troy
seen,
Smith and stuff, but Stroud's probably the most prolific as far. Oh, the great Jimmy Rucker says, "Q, you tripping." So every once
Jimmy
in a
Rucker's
while
a
we be
smart man.
tripping. I've gotten that a couple times on the show before. They thought I was tripping. So there you guys go. We got 2 for Penix. We got 1 for Harrison. Very good. We'll see who ends up winning it. But we are on, you guys, to the lightning round. Thank you for riding up with us this evening, you guys. And the lightning round is our opportunity to have a little Q&A session. We got thunder going right now. It is raining in the Bay Area, so it is real. But we're going to put the great Andy Peeke through a little blitz, you guys, and he knows all about this because he is a show favorite. He does come into the show, but now he's on the spot. He's seen other people go through it. Now he's in it. Now, he does do entertainment, so I'm expecting him to be pretty quick on his toes. But since I know this gentleman, I got a pretty good list right here, list that we're going to put him through. So let me get my stopwatch ready, baby. And
Here we go.
This is the lightning round. We got him at zeros. We need a Buffalo to win this thing. Now, if you do win this, the magic number is 15. So if you can get 15 or higher in 60 seconds, then we got to get a little pasta J's or something. Next time I'm in New York or something, it's dinner on the locker room show, baby. So if he can get 15 or higher,
15.
then he's our man. He's our man, all right? At least till the end of the football season. So let's see. Are you ready to go big time?
Bring it.
All right.
All right.
Here we go.
He's got 60 seconds to die. He's at zero. He's got to say the first thing that comes to his mind, unfiltered, on the spot. All right. All right. Number 1. He gets 1 for tech delay. So even 14 is good. So 1 for tech delay. Number 1, the lightning round. Peninsula High School. Go.
Palos Verdes.
Fried chicken or fried fish?
Grilled chicken or grilled fish?
Gary Barnett.
Head coach.
Ryan Seacrest or Dick Clark?
Dick Clark.
Best player you ever played against?
Jeff Kelly.
Favorite holiday?
4th of July.
Captain Crunch or Frosted Flakes?
Protein granola.
Colin Kaepernick? Colin Kaepernick.
Baby. Keep running, baby.
The NCAA, 50 seconds.
NCAA, NC double assholes.
Russell Wilson.
Don't throw an interception.
Time. I forgot who I was dealing with here. We got a health expert on here before I just these up. But let's tally these up.
Oh, man.
For a second, but let's see how we get. So obviously Peninsula High School, his old high school in Palos Verdes. He's going with the grilled chicken over the fake or the fried chicken or the fried fish. Gary Barnett, our old coach. So there's 3. We got 4 with the Dick Clark. We got 5 with the best player ever. 6 with the favorite holiday. Then he's going with the granola bar for 7. 8 with the Colin Kaepernick, just run, baby. 9 with the NC double. We ain't going to say that. And then 10 with the Russell Wilson. So he's got 10 and 11 with the tech delay. So there you go. There you go. Appreciate you coming in. That was a good one right there.
I just want to say, sometimes you said Gary Barnett. I was waiting for you to say Gary Barnett or Rick Neuheisel. I was like, am I comparing these?
A comparison. So
Yeah, hanging on the edge on a few of those.
You got to be ready there. No, that's a good point.
What I said about the NCAA is actually a quote from a movie. Q or T Wood, can either of you tell me what movie that was?
That's the program, baby.
That's it.
Yep.
That's it.
Favorite movie.
Classic.
Hands down.
Yeah, we know the whole script. We got the
Yeah.
whole script in our head. So if
Yes.
you were a football player back in
You
the
wa-
day, you watched
Watch
the program.
I'm telling you.
So
And
there
if
you
you want
go.
to be one now, you should still go back and watch it. Study
Yes,
some history.
yeah, it's still
Yes.
relative.
It
Yes,
is.
it still is
I
relative.
promise you it
We've
is.
got let's see, Gibson Didier seeing you. Hey Andy,
Hey,
what's going
GD.
on? And then I said I got my wife coming in here and saying one word answer. She's trying to help you out. She said one
Oh,
word.
Jimmy Rucker. Jimmy
word.
Rucker said, give me 5 points on my NCAA answer.
There you go. And then Jimmy knows the program too. So Jimmy's always getting extra points. We gotta watch Jimmy in here. Okay. So we're on to our last topic and having some fun with Andy. Thank you guys for joining us. This is the locker room. Goes down every single Thursday. We have a little fun, but we are talking real topics, things that pertain to you guys. This gentleman, blood, sweat, and tears. I've seen him put it on the field. All right, so he knows what he's talking about. But we have the audience Q&A section, the last section of the show. If you do have a question, a comment, or something for Andy, please feel free to put it in the comment section, which is live right now. But I know, Q, you got something for our guest tonight.
Definitely. So Andy, I mean, looking at everything that you're doing, man, with various projects in the entertainment industry, why do you feel like, in your opinion, that sometimes, I guess, at the conclusion of I'm not even gonna say at the conclusion of a player's career, but whether they're playing or the conclusion of their career, like sometimes players will put themselves in a box and not realize that they have all these opportunities, and using football more as a tool, they just put themselves in a box like, I can only do this, and kind of just end up lost in the shuffle.
Yeah, man. I mean, what you're saying, that applies to me also. I mean, at the same time, I put myself in a box, and I said, you know what, but then I'm the kind of guy that'll be like, all right, I just put myself in a box. I've been sitting in this box. I need to get out of this box now. And so, you know what, in college, these are your classes. This is your schedule for your tutors. Then you've got practice. Then you've got training table. You're lifting weights and you're going to bed. And, everything you're doing is you're told to do it at a certain time, and you're just like programmed, and everything's set. And then all of a sudden, that sports career winds down, and it's like, whoa, the whole thing, everything. I'm at a wide angle lens looking out at planet Earth right now. And I kind of liked being told what to do a little bit. Like, now I got to decide, and you get paralysis sometimes.
Right.
And, so, again, back to that question of, what university am I going to choose? Which scholarship offer am I going to take? You're going to have those choices all throughout your life. When you're done playing sports, you're going to have those choices that you got to make. And, being able to make a choice, have faith in that choice that you're deciding on, and just to lean into that and go with that, rather than to stay in that box, as you mentioned, and say, I don't know, I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to keep it small. T Wood, you're a great example of this, man. I know you and I have stayed in touch over the years. And you know what? When you announced before you go pro, I was one of the first people to order your book, man. And, every time you got this show, I'm on here leaving comments. And you know what? This is you getting out of that box. And what a great example for these young athletes to see, like, life is what you make of it. All right. So go out there and do it. Go out there and live it. And that's what we're doing here. You get in that box, recognize it, get out of it.
Yeah, that's dope.
Did you always know that you were more than an athlete, or when did you realize that?
Oh man, when I was in preschool, I used to get in so much trouble, and kids would say, "I'm telling on you," and I would go, "Oh crap, I'm in big trouble." And I would start telling them jokes. I would start acting wacky. All of a sudden, until they started laughing.
And forgot about
it. Gotcha. You want to go down the slide again now? I'll go with you. Man. I used
Yeah.
You've
to.
always known.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I was, you know, and you know, a warning, you know, a story of caution, because, you know, getting into trouble, it's cute and funny till a certain age. And, you know, my immaturity got to me in college, and I got in real trouble. And that was stupid. You know, there's a time, all you young athletes watching this right now, there's a time you got to grow up. All right. And it took me doing something really stupid to actually grow up. And you know, you got to be smart. You got to be smart. I will say that. You know, granted, you know, I saw it through, and it helped, you know, me grow into the man that I am today and become more mature. But I had to do some stupid things that were beyond, like, you know, kindergarten stupid things to grow up. So
yeah.
Well,
And we all have definitely. That's good, man. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Well, hey, man, definitely appreciate you coming into the locker room and always having our back. We always see you in the comment section. We always see you on the show, man. So keep up the great work. Where can people find you? Where can people reach out?
Yeah, hit me up. AndyPeeke.com is my website. And on Instagram, at Andy Peeke on Instagram. And yeah, that's where you can find me. Definitely. And on the pickleball court. I play a lot of pickleball these days too.
Man, I hear that. I keep hearing about pickleball, man. Like this is like a really upcoming sport. It's really, I'm down here in Houston. It's getting huge, like pickleball. I keep hearing that, man. What's up with pickleball? Man?
Larry Fitzgerald plays. Danny Werfel, Drew Brees just put on a tournament in Louisiana.
What?
Yeah,
man. I gotta get hip. T, we gotta get, man. We gotta get some people invested. We gotta get this pickleball going, man. I'm sleeping.
We got to get a league going. So, hey, there you guys have it. Obviously, you can see why we wanted to have the great Andy Peeke in the locker room, because he puts his heart out there. He knows what he's talking about, but he's done amazing things. So, Peeke, thanks for joining us, baby, and keep up the great work.
Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you, guys. Looking forward to the next time. Listen to Coach Wood, everyone. Eat your vegetables, do your homework, go to class.
There you go. So, hey, we got another one. And Q, I mean, he was a great player, man. I mean, kind of like a utility, just all over the field. Offense and defense. And, you know, just blew up after football. Just in the entertainment. Hollywood, New York, doing his thing. He's been in theater shows. I've seen him just flicking through the channels, man. Peeke. Right there, hosting the show.
That's wild.
You know, so it's just crazy to see how guys evolve, like he was saying.
Yeah, definitely, man. Yeah, especially, man, guys that you play with, that you close to, man, and really see. You know, like my man Isaac Keys has been on the show. You know, man, doing big things with with Power Book 4. You know, in his role, in Diamond, playing Diamond, man. I mean, it's awesome to see guys transition, man, and really end up doing just as big, if not bigger things, man, in other industries, man. Even in football. So
some of like a whole nother career. You know, some of them have bigger career. Look at The Rock.
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly. Absolutely. Man.
I mean, if The Rock stops after football in Miami, you know, he's with the Hurricanes. If he just says, I'm gonna be a plumber, you know, and nothing wrong with being a plumber. But if he's just like, I'm gonna be a plumber or electrician, look at all that value, dude, that he's provided for people, whether it's been financial, entertainment, you know, in the community. Like, look at all that value that came after football. You know, he wasn't known for football. A lot of people don't even know he played.
They forget, absolutely. It was a dog, right?
The younger kids,
absolutely.
So for you young kids out there, man, it's not football, like you said earlier in the show, is leverage. It's you got extra leverage, you know, to do whatever else you want or whatever else you're talented at. So just like Peeke. So another good one from him. I see some people in the comment section. He forgot to say your prayers and take your vitamins.
Oh man,
a holster. Yes, indeed. So, all right, you guys. Well, hey, hopefully you guys had a good evening with us tonight. Once again, please make sure that you like, subscribe. We work hard to bring you guys this content. It's a labor of love for Q and I, and we're going to bring you, we were talking earlier today, you guys, we're going to bring you some of the best in the football industry. So keep riding with us every single Thursday. The season is ending for many people. So a lot of you guys got decisions coming up on where to go to college. So
Nice.
we want to help you with those decisions, and we want to help you be smart once you get to that college campus. So once again, I am your host, Coach Terrence Wood, signing off, and that is Q, the guru, with all the right answers. And we will see you next week, you guys, 6:30 p.m. Pacific, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. See you at the top.